Last call.
Last call, everybody. What's going on? How are you?
Hello, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
It's been a great day so far, actually. The weather was
Oh, yeah.
held up finally.
Well done.
I was
Hold up.
surprised.
It wasn't warm out, but it was not bad.
No, exactly.
It was not bad. Hope you guys all had a nice Mother's Day. Hope you guys had
How
some
do I
fun
do it?
food and
So go to the reunion page.
Sorry, we're doing, he's teaching me how to do something on Facebook.
Yeah, we're doing new things, getting creative.
There we are, see it, okay.
Right,
And
so
you go
now
to share,
Share.
and then you do watch party.
Start a watch party.
Start a watch party.
I did that the other day, that's right.
So what does that do? That notifies people. So this is the reunion website or
Yeah.
Facebook. So that notifies our folks.
Yeah,
But if you also have separate folks and you do that, they find out too. So we
Yeah.
broaden our audience.
Yeah,
Exactly.
All right.
bottom of the audience. So all of you at home, if you're watching, start a watch party while you watch with
Yeah.
us. And you know,
It was a fun day. They had it was exciting. A lot of people came into the restaurant, or didn't come into the restaurant,
Didn't come into the restaurant.
but came to pick up food. And for the most part, I think we got most of the orders right. People
Yeah.
called to tell us how great it was,
Yeah.
and we've got a lot of messages. And I'm always
I
happy.
tasted the prime rib was great.
Yeah,
Shout out to the cooks; they did a good job.
awesome.
Um,
Well, we got to start with the beer, right?
Yep.
That's the thing.
please do. You're on my
Okay.
swant so
I'm on your side.
well, Sargon's gonna bartend tonight. So.
Yes.
Today we're
Sorry.
going to be talking about Allagash White.
Boy, a classic.
Do you want to hold that up?
Yeah, so you don't see it in cans as often. It's almost always you see it in bottle, and a lot of places have it on draft.
Well, I think it's relatively new.
the cans
The
of it
cans,
is
I
very
think
new.
that
Yeah, exactly.
because of what's happening now,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Didn't they just sort of start canning it?
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that was kind of their idea. They knew that people would be can't go to restaurants as often, couldn't get it on draft, so they wanted this in the liquor stores. They wanted it at the restaurants for to-go sales.
Now, I'm a huge fan of Allagash
Same.
for
Yeah,
a
great.
lot of different reasons. First of all, they for a long time they were selling our hard pretzels in their
Yeah, in
tap
the
room.
tap room.
And we got to know Rob Todd, who's the head brewer or the owner of Allagash.
Yeah.
Who is really he's one of the pioneers of the craft beer.
Yeah, he's up there with Jim.
Jim
Pete
Cook and-
from Pete's Wicked Ale and those guys. Like he's one of the early guys. His story's actually pretty well known. If you do a little research about Rob, he, like Jim at Sam Adams, he pounded the pavement for decades trying to get people to buy this beer. And if you're familiar with this beer, which now most people are, it's a cloudy wheat beer. It's a light wheat beer. It's cloudy, so it looks like it's unfiltered, and it is unfiltered. It's actually based on a very, very old style Belgian beer with a white beer, wheat beer, and almost always has coriander and orange peel in it.
Yep.
The first one of those in America to really take hold was Blue Moon. If you like that style of beer, this is so much better. Like this is what you should graduate to quickly.
He literally spent like 15 years before people would buy his beer.
Yeah, they're like something's wrong with your beer. It's cloudy.
It's cloudy. What he's doing with this, and he broke himself.
Yeah,
doing it.
he survived it, but boy,
He built that brewery from scratch, like with his own two hands.
Amazing.
Like he literally dug out the concrete and poured to put the drainage pipes in. Like he's got a bad back and stuff because
Yeah.
of all the physical labor of this thing that he had. And it was really weird for him. For some reason California clicked
one.
before the rest of the country. So he was shipping. Still to this day, the majority of his beer goes to California.
That's unbelievable.
yeah, he sells more.
I mean, they're right in Portland, Maine,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's going to California.
if you
That's
haven't
ridiculous.
if you haven't been to Portland, Maine, great city to visit. If you like breweries and restaurants, they hit way above their weight.
Oh yeah.
They are definitely per capita great restaurants, great breweries, more than most places. Maybe Oregon has some places like that. Seattle.
Now,
maybe.
and this is also a very easy drinking
This-
summer drink. I
yeah,
think.
you don't
And
have
the
to be a beer
summertime
snob to like this
alligator.
beer.
Exactly. I mean, it's not the wheat beers are not like a prototypical beer, if you will.
Yeah, it's a light
so
beer.
It's not
It's
a
a
beer
crisp-
like the Jack's Abbey Lager we had yesterday.
Right, you do
This
not
is-
have to be a beer snob to like this.
This
beer.
will be is a different style.
No, I think it's beers like this that sort of spawned. They later grew into
great.
ciders and sours, and
Absolutely.
this is sort of in my opinion, it's like sort of on the outer edges of beer. Like when you think of beer, this is sort of out here.
Interesting.
And the next step could be like a sour beer or like a wheat. It's
Yeah.
just a little bit different than what we were
Well,
talking about yesterday.
Belgian beers
Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
I hope
yeah.
you have a drink with us. If you haven't learned by now, make sure you have a drink with us. Cheers.
Yeah, Ken. Hope you got a beer up.
Yeah, you better have your drink on.
Belgian beers have a huge history. There's a couple things. First,
That's awesome.
One of the most it's a great beer.
So good.
One of the most unique things about Belgian beer in general, and there are a lot of categories, and there's great beers, Trappist beers, beers brewed in the Trappist style, Abbey beers, and so on. The real thing with most Belgian beers is the yeast. They use a very different strain of yeast. And that's what gives it a lot of that clove, banana, some funky undertones of not recognizable in other types of beer. So that yeast strain, and that yeast strain is pretty prevalent whether you get a wit or a single or double or triple Bock, the darker beers, Dubels, you've seen them. It's the yeast that makes them stand out.
Wow.
Well, it's completely fabulous. I love this beer. I forgot how much I like it, actually. I mean, this is probably a beer that we've had on tap probably more often than any other beer, except maybe Night Shift Night Light.
Yeah.
But it's a regular.
It is a regular, and people love this beer.
Yeah.
If you love the style, if you love what beers, even if you like the farmhouse
Yes.
beers or the grisettes, or
And
this
once
is a
things
great light style.
once things open back up, I strongly recommend, like Sean's saying, going up to Portland.
Okay.
Go visit Allagash. Right, like Allagash is here, and they
Foundation is
and then
right
Foundation's across the street, and there's all these great brews. Allagash has built this
Yep.
great outdoor pavilion sort of thing,
Yep.
and the people that work there are so cool, and they give you great tours. And you go up there, they might have started charging,
I don't think so.
but it used to be you go
It's
in
free.
and you get a flight of beers for free.
Yeah. And the
What's
law,
better than free beer?
not to call anyone out, but the law only allows like 3 certain size pours. So they give you the pours, and then the bartenders are always like, "Oh, but you could also try this one and this one." And you get out of there having a few beers. It's fun.
Well, that's
and the
that
tour is
sounds
great.
A good time. I feel bad because today we didn't have any food because today we did our Mother's Day menu.
Yeah.
We have some people who actually had it and liked it.
Oh, great!
Ken says just finished supper. Thanks. Ken had ordered from us, and then Leslie Briggs, your mother had ordered too. She said fabulous stuffed pork roast, delicious. Catherine had texted me earlier today. Said the pork was awesome. So, guys did a good job. They got out of here early, so no food today. No food review today.
Yeah.
That's
but-
okay though. They worked hard today, so.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But still gonna do a cocktail. That's why I'm standing on this side.
Yeah, I was thinking it's Mother's Day, and
Yep.
what sort of cocktails do you think Mom would like? Let's
So
go.
I know what my mom would have loved that we have on this menu because she was a big peanut butter fan. This peanut butter martini that we kind of teased yesterday. That is a newer cocktail that we added to our menu because of Skrewball whiskey that we talked
Skrewball
about.
whiskey.
And the martini is just, it's almost too good because you don't really taste the alcohol. The flavors work together. It's a dangerous one.
Yeah. It's
I have a kind of funny story. We were talking about how wildly popular the Screwball whiskey became, so quickly. And I tend to think of new, interesting liquors. Usually, it's the younger group that sort of finds them first,
Usually.
and then But I was having a conversation today with a good friend of mine who's, how old's Dick Anderson?
Probably in his
83?
late 80s. He probably kills us.
And he asked me if I had ever heard of it because that's his new drink of choice. He loves it. And I'm like, oh, actually, I have heard of it. I just had it yesterday.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
So this is
I'm gonna make
so
you
this
guys
is a fun drink because you could,
Yeah.
if you just want to drink it straight, and then somebody else in your house wants to try something interesting.
I was obsessed with the Screwball whiskey when we first got it.
Oh, yeah. Our whole staff
Do you
was.
remember we
Yeah.
were trying to come up with a cocktail?
I mean,
And we had
we-
tried a bunch of them that day, just
We
mixing
sampled
things.
a bottle just among the staff.
Yeah, well, just to kind of come
everyone was
up.
like, "You gotta try." Not even to just get.
Right.
Did you try this? Yeah, try this. And we not our underage staff, but everyone else in the building was like, "You gotta drink this." And then we had we won't get anyone in trouble. We had a couple friends in
Yeah.
before the coronavirus.
Well, this is back in November.
We had a lunch one time where we had a couple friends who visit us regularly, who are customers and also friends, and we were talking about
The Screwball
cocktails,
whiskey, yeah, what
and
could
we
do.
made a whole bunch of Screwball whiskey cocktails.
Yeah, we
and
did.
we had fun.
And finally,
A little
so
tipsy that day.
I think the thing that and this is where the genius of Gary Benequista comes in too, is that he himself and even I think Mackenzie helped out with it. That
Yeah.
We had kind of a recipe made it, and we're like, this is it. And then they're like, well, if you exchange this for that and this for that, you can actually sell it and make money. All right.
Yeah, because I think the first one was like Chambord, and like it was a high end cocktail. It would have had to have been like a $15 cocktail,
made sense
and we
for what
don't.
we were doing.
We try not to be the $15 cocktail, please.
All right. So
So how do you make it? Sargon the bartender.
I love, as you guys know, I love coming back here and bartending. So I'm always here. I probably don't belong here 90% of the time, but you'll always see me over here trying to help out.
I think the customers like you back there. I think the bartenders not so much.
Yeah, not so much. Not so much.
But if you guys have been in our restaurant, you know most nights Sargon will definitely do a stint behind the bar. He likes it back here. He's comfortable in his element. It's a little bit of a cheers thing going on.
So I'm doing the...
Chill the glass?
Chill that glass, all right?
Okay.
Then we're going to grab a pint glass, and we're going to make our drink in here. First, what I do is I grab a pint glass, I fill it up with ice, all right? That's the first step. Second step, I'm going to take our Skrewball whiskey, and we're going to do like this much.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, okay, that's
six,
probably-
Oh,
seven.
you're making a little extra.
Yeah, he's making a little
for
extra.
all of us.
Perfect.
But normally be probably like a
This
5
string
count.
or two.
Yep.
Perfect. And take the Skrewball, and then we take our creme de, is it
Cacao. Yep.
Creme de cacao.
Yep.
I'm gonna put about this much in there.
Some people say creme de coco too.
Yep. Yep. So it's the same thing. Means same thing. Depending on.
And then the Baileys, just to give it a little bit of a creamy element to make it look.
So
really
about
nice.
a 5 count on the whiskey, about a 3 count on the cacao,
Yep.
cocoa, and then a tiny bit less on the Baileys.
And then I know it's a whiskey, all right, but I am going to shake the heck
Oh,
out of
yeah.
it.
No,
no
this
problem.
is a shakeable drink.
Definitely shake whiskey.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
question.
you shake that.
And then we're looking around. Hey, I'll get right to you in a second. How you doing? What's going on here? Get right to you. All right, don't worry. Hold yours. All right, we'll shake this. We'll shake it. All right. And then we're going to take our martini glass. We're going to dump on that ice. So we're going to take our chocolate syrup.
This is a
Ooh.
key part of it. And you go around the edge of the glass.
Yes, that's
There you
right.
go.
Even on the bar. Why
Even
not?
on the bar, just squirt it all over.
Take out the pint glass. We'll strain this baby. We'll put it in right here.
Whoa.
Yep, it's a pretty drink.
Look at that
Actually,
pour.
Perfect. I'm gonna
I
show everyone.
didn't make any extra.
No, you didn't. You made about the right amount.
I like it.
Well, again, a lot of us are used to martini glasses being filled like this. They're really not supposed to.
Look at that baby. And I tell you right now, you get that from mom. You know, I know
Oh, yeah.
we're not open for Mother's Day. The bar isn't anyway, but that doesn't mean that once we open up, you can't bring mom in for a post Mother's Day drink. This is the drink of choice right here. I guarantee you, mom's gonna love this thing.
You know, no one's driving anywhere. Everyone's got the long weekend and the short weekend.
This one's me?
Yep.
All right.
You can learn how to bartend nowadays. You can go on YouTube, and there's about 500,000
Look at
bartending
that.
videos.
That thing's beautiful. Excuse
And
me.
if you want to learn, I mean, the basics are easy, and then, but bartending's fun. I mean,
So, and it's definitely an art. I mean, like.
oh yeah,
you know, I
Oh,
watch-
yeah.
you can get better at it. For
How
sure.
is that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's literally like liquid crack.
That's dangerous.
Peanut butter crack. Right
That's
there.
dangerous. That's way too easy to drink.
Yeah.
That's way too.
That's
that
a
tastes like
gateway
a.
drink.
That tastes like a milkshake.
Yeah,
Like peanut
it tastes like
butter
a 12-year-old would love it.
milkshake.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we've had nights where we have customers who order a few of those
Oh,
and they love them.
yeah.
You know, the espresso martinis, the peanut butter martinis, and we were talking about traditional martinis and
Yeah.
what one of these fake ones are, but it's literally just putting it in that.
Well,
glass.
I mean, like I said, the martini glass created a culture of martinis that are so far and beyond just the gin and vodka martini. And I mean, think of the number of flavored vodkas in the world. They fill aisles in liquor stores, like
Yeah.
every flavor you can imagine: blueberry, watermelon, pepper, onion flavor, bacon flavor, like whatever kind of fucking flavor you want. And they're all for some sort of unique martini.
Absolutely,
So.
absolutely. Well,
Super tasty. Nice
Well, they look
job,
classy.
man.
I
It's
know
really
it looks
classy.
really good. I kind of want to
Do I
make
look-
one, but
do I
I don't
look-
know if I could even have a whole one.
Do I look classy drinking?
Absolutely. I might have killed it with chocolate. Though.
James Bond held a martini glass because
Mm-hmm.
it was classic.
Yeah, I like it. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So John Nickerson said he's been learning how to bartend by watching these videos, and so far his expertise is the Nascartini.
I think it's a classic.
The Nascartini is a classic.
For those of you who don't know, that's a nice, freshly opened pilsner pour it into, or really any beer,
Any
I guess.
beer.
But
Any
I'm
martini.
thinking a PBR probably would be ideal
Oh yeah.
for the NASCAR-tini. But there's a lot of different options there. This is really good.
So cheers, guys, again, and cheers to all the moms out there. Speaking
Yeah.
of moms, maybe we take a second and talk about moms and how much we love them and how great they are and how important they are in our lives. I got Catherine at home, my wife, mother of my 2 children. She's the best by rock. And she ordered today some stuffed pork loin.
Yeah.
Loved it. And she's just been, without, moms have a different relationships with their kids
Sure.
than fathers.
Absolutely.
I probably will come home and I'm more of a, goof off and joke around and have fun with the kids. And mom's has to be the more serious one. And she's always like, one day we got to switch. She's like, this is not fair.
Yeah, gender roles are tough.
And I completely
we
agree,
grew up-
but
we grew up with different beliefs around it, and then those beliefs change over time.
Mhm.
I think when we were little kids, our mom and dad came from the 50s generation where it was expected that mom stayed home and worked. But then, the war changed things, and women went to work in the 50s and did a great job. And then my mom's generation, that you talk about the hippie generation in the 60s and 70s, where women were burning their bras, working, they wanted, equal, because they are equal,
Yep.
right? Well, they're actually way not equal. They're way more better. They do more than us.
Stronger and
Yeah,
smarter.
and then that whole shift of well, you're going to work, but also the house has to be cleaned and you got to feed the kids, and that still became the woman had to do all those things. It's just weird to watch society change, and thank God it has. But moms still bear burdens.
Yeah.
More so.
My mom's was working at UMass as a nurse.
Yeah.
She did that when she started when I think she went to nursing school at 18, graduated at 21, 22, and got right into it. Really just 25 years of nursing right there.
Yeah.
I bet she would have thought this whole thing was crazy.
Oh my God! If my mom, God rest her soul, if she was still around, I would not. I would I'm a devil sometimes. My passion, and I know my father too. He's kind of the same way. I think all we would have done is just pick on her about going out without her mask on, and we would have, no, you gotta wear your mask. She would have been on top of us, making sure that we are being safe, we are social distancing.
Yeah.
There's no one allowed in her house. No one who would have been. I mean, she would have been on top of all of this.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I saw my wife earlier today. She came and I got her. She tried the pork tenderloin as well. Sent some food home for the kids, and she's doing a great job. So again, I've shared this. A lot of you guys know this because you know me, but my son is relatively high risk, so I've actually not been staying at home. So I see them in the parking lot. They drive by and I talk to them, but I'm actually not. I haven't been at my house for the last 4.5 weeks at this point because of a high risk. So again, we're not highly exposed here, but we're seeing new people on a fairly regular basis. We have a staff that works in the back. So so props to you, Anna. Doing a good job.
How about mom?
I talked to mom today too.
Yeah, me too.
She's doing great. Your son Nate, my nephew, your son, their grandchild, he's been there living with them, which I think is great because mom and dad love each other, but a third person there helps, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Someone
it's
to keep
good
it
for all of them.
Yeah, it's good for everyone. I mean, isolation isn't good, and you keep a grandkid around, it's good. So
Yeah.
they had the food today as well. Thanks, Mom. You said it was great.
Yes.
So
Shout
fun.
out to all the moms, and again, thank you guys for ordering. The people who did order and got it in time and enjoyed it. Thank you for your patronage, and those who missed out. Next year, and hopefully we can, maybe once a month. But I kind of love these kind of Sundays.
Yeah.
Where we have.
I think Sundays in general,
Yep.
family meals. We'll just start on Monday. You can order till Thursday, and we'll do a family meal.
Well, I always wanted to do, even with the restaurant, I wanted to, when we were doing the jazz brunches, we had talked about it before this all kind of closed down. I wanted to do something like, we'll do the jazz brunch, shut it down at 3 or 2.
And then switch to
and then
family.
switch over to family style meals.
Like here.
And, kind
I
of
love it.
have tables of 12, tables of 14, 16, and have people just sharing food
Yeah.
and
It might
doing
be
it
more
like the old
relevant
school
than
way.
ever. As we start to open, let's not kid anyone. Money's going to get weird in the next few months. Food's going to get weird. Social distancing and how you. It's great that people are making good money on unemployment right now. It's great that the government's been sending some checks. It's great that we can extend our mortgages and all those things. But this isn't going away on May 18th. Right. We have a feeling here in Massachusetts it's going to be sometime in July with very limited seating and like maybe only 25% of the restaurant open. So I think more than ever, the idea of a family-style meal, one, we can do it cheaper, so we can offer you guys a better value. And two, those are the people you're going to be with. Your pod is going to be your pod. You're not going to go be mingling with a lot of other people. But you know who you've been quarantined with, and you don't have a problem. Like my wife and kids are together. They're not wearing masks. They've been together for 30 days without exposure. So there's going to be a lot of that. So we're going to be able to create little areas where people can come in as a family and stay away from everyone else. And we can do family-sized chicken parmesan or meatloaf or whatever, you know, and keep the price down. Because unfortunately, just so you guys know, a perfect example of this, a week ago, every one of our distributors, and we use a lot of distributors at 8, 10, 12, depending, all had pretty much everything, and stuff was actually even a little cheap. This week, we needed to buy hamburger, and only one distributor had hamburger.
Yeah.
All the rest of them were out. Steak prices have gone up 40% in the past week. Fresh produce is disappearing. So again, the supply chain will rebound because it's the farms are working, but it's screwed up right now. They don't know how to get food where. Food's rotting. Food's getting destroyed at the factories. So it could be weird until the end of the summer.
Yep.
And we're going to be flexible with our menu. We might literally have to take things off the menu because we just can't get it.
Yeah. It's going to get interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that everyone's been very flexible with us.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're not in a vacuum here. Literally, the whole world is going through this.
Right.
Now.
It's not just.
And so it helps.
And
so
the
much.
reality is we don't know what we're doing. It's not like we have it's not like we have the play. Oh, in case of pandemic, here's how you run a restaurant. So we're going day by day. Like, oh, that worked. Let's do that again.
Right.
That didn't work. Let's not do that. Oh, they like that. Let's try to keep that going.
Yeah.
Like the growlers. We talked about the growlers for 3 weeks, and then we talked with you guys for a week, and we were like, I don't know. It's been a success.
Yeah.
We're ordering more beer.
We're going to be ordering more beer, more growlers, because
we
there
sold a
has
bunch
been a
right away.
demand.
Yep.
So we thank you guys again for that.
But we need everybody's help and
But
advice.
if it didn't work,
yeah.
we'd have thousands of dollars worth of beer that we would have to
And
drink
growlers,
ourselves.
I would say. Well, what the heck? I mean, not.
Just kidding.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like you said, Josh, uncharted territory. We're kind of marching to the beat of our own drum here, and trying to figure this out. You know, if this works, great. If it doesn't, put it behind us and we move forward. And so we thank everybody for their flexibility and kind of just working with us and understanding. I think that's the key word.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
we want to open. Obviously, we don't want to be here alone without you guys here. But at the same time, we aren't going to just rush to open. We're going to do it right. We want people who want to be safe feel safe here. I look at some of the videos of the other states where people are just defying the orders and they're just opening up and stuff like that. We're not. I don't want that. We don't want that.
No, we're going to do it safely,
legally,
and safely, and we're going to make sure to keep everybody who comes in here as safe as we're capable of doing. And
just selfishly, I don't want to get sick.
Yeah, no, of course, right.
So, John asked, are you doing pre-filled glass growlers or bring your own growlers?
No.
We are doing pre-filled glass growlers
grab one
because
from?
legally right now we're not allowed to bring in a foreign growler.
Right.
We have to buy a fresh new growler and pour it ourselves and then send it out.
That will change as the restrictions change. We will be able. We have great washers here. We have this right here that Johnson's. That's literally a glass washer. So we can wash glass, but right now the state's not allowing it. We're talking about things too. For example, when you come to the restaurant, like everything is going to come out of the kitchen and go from the kitchen to the table to the trash. So we're not going to have silverware, plates, and glassware. We're probably going to have a lot of paper and plastic and recyclable bamboo and stuff because the state doesn't want everything to get cycled back into the kitchen. So they'll make your food will come out, you'll eat it, and it'll go into the trash bin. So
I'm really happy because the 2 days before they got locked down, we got like 12 cases of new fun plates that we were going to do for our new burger rollout, and those are still sitting in the basement.
Our menus.
So, I know we
ordered these beautiful metal menus, like metal encased. They look like something out of a Harry Potter film, and those will probably never see the light of day.
Probably not,
because I think the idea of something that you touch that we then hand to the next customer isn't going to happen.
Well, the best thing we were kind of not to get too off the topic, but the one thing that humans do best is adapt.
Yeah.
So that's all we can. That's all we're doing. I think every person who owns a restaurant right now, everyone in the restaurant game, is adapting, trying to figure out what's next, because there is no rule book.
There is no next right now. We
Nobody.
don't know.
I know. I mean, I'm a perfect example of it. Before COVID, I would have never drank this drink, and I've adapted, and I love it.
Adapting.
It's so
The
good.
Negroni,
It's so
the
good.
Negroni yesterday. We adapt. So obviously we're all in this together. I think the suburbs have it a little better off than the cities. I think the cities are complicated for a lot of reasons. There's people on top of people, and they have to make do with a lot less space. You know, we happen to be blessed with a large restaurant. This is a good restaurant. So if we can only have 25%, we can still get 30 or 40 people in here. But some of my favorite restaurants in Boston only have 30 seats to begin with.
Right.
If they can only have 7 people in there,
Why would they even
Why would
open?
you even open,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're screwed.
Well, I mean, even if with us, I mean, if you know,
Oh,
before
yeah.
we were closed down, we were supposed to close down on Tuesday, was the final day.
Yeah.
We were allowed to be open Monday, and we decided to close. We were like, this is not something that we wanted to
It
mess
just
with.
felt weird.
And even if we were allowed to open up at full capacity tomorrow, I'm not sure I would want to do that.
And who's going to come?
Yeah.
Like,
And
they're-
even if
they're
they did,
going.
I don't know if we would want all
Right,
of that.
we don't
I
want to
think,
do that,
I
yeah.
think right now it's touch and go, and you know, we're going to be very patient. I think that's probably the right word.
I have never have I ever lived through a pandemic before and run a restaurant in that.
Is that your segue?
That's my segue.
Speaking of it, so that's like a new game, right? It's been a game forever, but now because of COVID,
It's
the kids are
it's
playing it all
peaking
the time,
again.
right?
Right.
So essentially, the way the game works is you hold up like 10 fingers or 5 fingers or whatever, and you say "Never have I ever,"
Okay.
and then if you've done it, you cross it off.
Okay.
Right? The person who has the most fingers up
At the
loses.
end.
Okay.
And have to
And
do shots.
Then they have to do shots, or they have to take a shot of something, or whatever.
All right.
Or maybe they win. So maybe that might be the winner, really. I mean, if you think
No
about
way.
it. The guy who has to do the shot.
Life is about
Oh, I see. The
experiences.
winner. I got you. That's the winner. So I want to pretend I didn't do anything.
So
I
Ken,
never did that.
Before we get to that, Ken's asking. He said, "Any chance of bringing back Old Cocktails Retro Day?"
Ooh.
What do you mean, Ken? What do you have
I
in
like
mind?
that idea.
I
Because
love
he
it.
said he did some work for the Ritz hotels
Yeah.
in Berlin, and they had drinks from the 1920s to the
Love it.
1950s.
Oh man, I love it. Let's get some absinthe. Let's
But
get.
he said he only made it to 1937. You gotta go back.
Yeah.
Keep going, Ken. Nobody likes to quit it.
Pre-prohibition.
Yeah, I
drinking.
like that idea. Let's get Mr. Boston's
Sure.
the original book. I'll
Absolutely.
order it today.
I've read
Oh, that
it.
would be
It's
great.
And we'll just go with some of those, like, you add like the whiskers of lamb and like
Right. One,
How are we gonna do the egg yolks and?
Oh,
the
oh
fried
my God,
egg
there's
whites?
like-
we'll do it all, no
the,
problem.
people put lard in drinks.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
That's a great idea, Ken.
Mulled cider.
For sure.
Wait, so do you guys want to actually do that game?
Yeah. Well, sure.
All right, let's try it.
Let's
All
do
right,
never.
so what do I
ever,
do?
Never.
So
have I
everyone,
ever.
you guys got to put out five
Five?
fingers in front of you.
All right.
All right, and then what you're gonna do is
Are you
give
playing
me-
too?
I am gonna
Okay.
play. So there's a bunch of these questions,
Okay.
1 through 75. So
Okay.
each of us we're gonna have to do this 5 times.
Okay.
We'll start with you, Sean. Pick a number between 1 and 75.
13.
13. Never have I ever shot a gun.
I've definitely shot a gun.
All right, I'll go next. Number 40. And play along at home too.
I don't hope I have to shoot a gun soon.
Never have I ever been on TV or the radio. Well, I guess the Phantom Gourmet thing counts,
We're on
right?
all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Every Saturday you're on TV.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna
And
go
Sunday.
with 62.
62.
It's a nice Corvette.
Never have I ever walked out of a movie because it was bad.
Oh, definitely have.
Really?
Oh yeah.
God dang. I should have said I did. All right. My turn?
No, Sean's
No,
turn.
oh, back to me.
We might have to
9.
do 10.
9.
9? Never have I ever gone vegan.
Oh, gone vegan? No, I never gone vegan.
I've never gone vegan.
I'm vegetarian, but I'm not vegan.
So I did vegan for like a very, very, very short time when I dated Michelle Stowe.
But did you tell everyone you're vegan
Nope,
and stuff?
never
okay,
would.
No, then
no.
you didn't really go
All right,
vegan.
I won't.
Which movie did you
Yeah, what
walk
do you have?
out
Oh,
of?
I've walked out of a few movies. Well, so Josh and I worked at a movie theater when we were in high school.
Well, you did.
I did. Well, and you were. Did you ever work there?
I never worked there. I just
You used to work there a lot.
used all the perks of you.
Yeah. So I used to show movies all the
there.
time.
Sean managed it, and it was so he'd
was
always
a big
have
theater.
He'd always
It was-
have tickets, And
Well, I've heard some of these stories. I don't know if we can
These
tell them
stories, I can tell some of them. Some of them I would get. Still, there's no statute of limitations on some of them. But so a couple fun things about the movie theater. First of all, it was like something. It was right out of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and it was run by kids. The whole thing. My boss, the two managers at the time, were in their late 20s, and they were degenerates. They were awesome guys. And he and his partner, not partner, but his assistant manager, and me and my best friend hired everyone. The whole staff was like our army of
all your
like
friends.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
And we used to shut that movie theater down at night and then bring all our friends in. We'd get kegs of beer.
And little brothers.
And we'd run movies, and we'd cook 100 hot dogs and eat popcorn.
Oh my god.
Well, they
Oh my
used
God.
to when the,
Like
before
Lord of the Flies.
It was like
before before digital films.
You had to
they
run
had
the
the
film
actual movie
Yeah.
reels, and
Yeah.
when you got a new one,
You had
they
to
had
run
to
it
do
down.
they had to run the movie through to make sure that the film was right.
Yeah.
So
and,
they would,
and they often weren't, by the way. We'd find mistakes all the time.
so you would
had to run
we'd
the
all
movie
come
down.
in, and the night before, like a major the one I remember it was Roger Rabbit, but for some
we
reason
did watch Robert Rabbit.
And we
right?
went-
Because of Jessica Rabbit. That's
but we went in, and I was
Yeah,
eighth
you were a
grade,
freshman.
freshman in high school, and we go in, and it's like all these people his
It was
age,
our whole staff,
much
and-
older than me,
and
No, I'm just
girlfriends.
kidding, and
Well,
girlfriend, and
It was not, I wouldn't say debaucherous.
they
but it
had
was
like up on the
definitely-
roof, they had
but for like that time. Yeah.
on
We
the
had
roof
grill-
they had grill
we
on
had
the
grills
roof,
on the
and they'd
roof.
bring beers up there, and
Oh my
you
God.
go.
This
and
was
they
a big mall. Like, think the Natick Mall. This was Crossgates Mall,
Yeah.
which is actually still... Crossgates Mall today is still bigger than Natick Mall. Massive mall. It was half the size then, but it's still huge. We had a flat roof on the top of the theater, and you could stand on the roof, and you could see into Albany, you could see into Guilderland, you could
Yep.
see the whole parking lot. There was no railing or anything. I mean, no one fell off, thank God. But there was just a little ledge, and we had grills on the roof. I mean, that's where...
That's so ridiculous.
Honestly, we could...
And
we
then you
should
go
make a movie
downstairs
about
and
it.
they turn the movie like so
Oh, they
loud
turn the
because
sound up so loud.
and I'm a movie fanatic. I think
Yeah.
you know that about me. I always have been. And for me, that was just like the most amazing thing.
That's awesome.
So okay, we
What
walked.
movie,
anyways.
what movie did you walk out of?
I was trying to think of it. That's why I asked him. I'd have to ask
I
Nate
would-
because I remember being with Nate and thinking that a movie was so terrible. That
I
way.
walked out of Ishtar.
Oh, I love this star.
I know you did. I walked out of
I'm the
Ishtar.
only person in the world that likes this
Um,
star.
I love Ishtar because it's an Assyrian name.
Yeah. Well, it's,
Dustin Hoffman and Warren
Warren
Beatty.
Beatty.
It's
Nothing
like
to do with
it's
it's
Assyrian,
like
but
listed. It's like listed. It's like wild. It's famously known as being like one of the worst movies of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Waterworld is up there.
Yeah.
I never even saw Waterworld.
Yeah. You
So
really
there's two
walked out.
movies, funny experiences. I mean, my brother and I went to go see the Hulk, the original one that came out,
Oh.
and I just remember
Ed
like,
Norton?
yeah, we were before Ed Norton.
Bill Bixby.
No, that was a
No, after him too.
Lou Ferrigno.
After Lou Ferrigno, it was like the original one that came out in like 2000. Like
Yeah, yeah. It was
three.
CGI. Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible
Well,
CGI.
it was just like Nick Nolte or not Nick Nolte, Gary Busey was in it. It was
Oh.
a weird character in it. It was supposed to be, I think, cool like the Avengers, and it was comical. Like you're
It
laughing
was like
at it,
campy
not-
almost. Yeah.
not
Laughing
because
at
you're
it.
laughing at it,
Yeah.
not with it. So
Did you leave?
We should have, but we just kept looking at each other. There was no one in the theater except me and him. We were just looking at it like, what is this?
Well, who knew that all these years later it would get you a free drink? Because
That's
you're the
right.
one. You're gonna lose because of that.
So what? So where are we at now?
So
I got two,
I got three.
I got two left.
All right, I think we got one more left. I'll pick a number. I'm gonna go with 52. All right, my mom was born in 1952, so in honor of mom, there we go. Never have I ever accidentally said I love you to someone. I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Accidentally? I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Like
be
said it
"I
didn't-
love you."
No, I've done it like on the phone with weird people, like people call the restaurant, like, "Oh, I see you later, love you."
I say you see honey to you all the time.
Yeah, you do.
So what the heck? So I ended up losing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
lost.
All right.
All right.
Well, I guess I have to do a shot.
Well, here I got it for you.
Oh, you already picked it out?
I saw it down there earlier.
Oh, the Jägermeister.
Oh!
I saw it down there earlier.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I got a story. Like,
This is one of yours. This is your
Jager-
tequila.
Jager and I don't get along.
Well, tonight,
Just so you
tonight
know.
we're racing
Just so you,
Oh, no,
just so
I
you know,
didn't.
you're not alone in that. No one gets along with Jägermeister.
All right, you don't have to do Jaeger.
Josh's
No, I lost. I gotta
Josh's
do it.
brother-in-law brew.
I can't say no. But now, if I do have a bad reaction,
Do we have Red Bull?
Oh my god! I just you just poured it and I can't even look at it. Oh my god!
It's so syrupy. I can smell it from
You
here.
know, I'll do one with you.
All right, let's all do them. We'll all lose together.
Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
Perfect.
So I had a night. I think everyone's had that night. I had a night with Jägermeister.
Oh, yeah.
When I was much younger, and this is probably 12, 13 years ago.
Well, I'll tell you, I
Just saying I feel dirty saying the name Jägermeister.
just so you know,
This is
I had a similar relationship with tequila at one point, and then somewhere in my later 20s, I drank some again, and I came back. So maybe this is your night.
you lost
All
lost
right.
the game of I never.
Never have I
Never
ever
have I
done a
ever.
shot of Jägermeister for losing a bet.
So lots of Jägermeister in the world, and I've had it many, many, many times, unfortunately. But I have very specific memories of Killington with Jager.
Oh yeah.
Because we have
I have very
brother-in-law-
foggy memories of Killington with Jägermeister.
Yeah.
My brother said that he walked out of Scary Movie 5. He said it's the
Oh,
only movie
it's
he's
so
ever
bad. I'm
walked
sure.
out
Yeah.
of. Ken-
Wait, why did you go to Scary Movie 5?
Yeah.
because he-
That's
Well, because the
question.
first ones weren't bad.
I know.
Because he probably
I'm just kidding.
OCD. He probably
You're
saw
like,
the
gotta
first
see
four.
him,
He's like, I
gotta
gotta
see
see
it.
the last one. What's it? Ken also gave us some ideas for old cocktails. The bee's knees.
Yeah,
Not sure what that is.
absolutely.
I don't either.
Grasshopper.
Oh, that one I know.
Randy Alexander.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
Sidecar.
Things with egg whites in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
whipped up egg
All
whites.
right, Ken, we're gonna take you up on that.
And Jaeger for last call or at last call a reunion. Cheers, guys.
Happy
Should be
Mother's
last
Day,
call.
you mothers.
Yeah,
From one mother to another.
I was just gonna say. Cheers.
All right. Good night.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.